My name is Howard Berry. I'm the father of the late Staff Sergeant Joshua Berry. My son died of wounds that were sustained during the first Fort Hood shooting. For those of you that don't remember it, a shooting took place on November the 5th, 2009. Nidal Hassan murdered 13 and he wounded 32. You won't find my son listed among the killed or the injured. He didn't exist. The Army forgot about him. The purpose for me doing this video, I've got some questions. I've got some questions that I like to ask. I'd like to ask Senator Graham. Senator Graham, I don't understand. I wrote you a letter March of 2013. I visited your office February of 2014, soliciting support for the Fort Hood victims. And Senator, you've got military experience. You're known for your support of the military. You're also known for your support of veterans. And I don't understand. I would just like to know, sir, as the father of a dead veteran, if you think the Fort Hood shooting was treated appropriately, calling that shooting a random act of violence in the workplace, and then morphing it into a case of violent homegrown extremism, never really calling it what it was. You know, Nidal Hassan was in contact with Anwar al-Awlaki over in North Africa. We thought enough about him that we took him out with a drone strike. You know, the lack of support by those in Congress, I just find it incredible. I really do. Um, I wrote all members of Congress. I only received 8 responses. And sir, as a father of a dead soldier, you know, I'd like to know where you stand. I'd like to know where you stand on veteran suicide. My son died waiting for help that never came. He died waiting for the support that he never got. And there's countless men and women. There's 23 a day that are currently completing suicide. I want to know if you're okay with that, Senator. Does that keep you up at night? It does me. One is too many. I'll forever have an empty chair at my table. And I do not understand how our leaders, and you think that you're capable of being our next commander-in-chief. I'd like for you to address some of these issues. Issues like the VA. You know, how many men and women that are waiting for help at the VA and being put off? How many of these folks are taking their lives? We keep funding a broken institution, you know, and then when I try to contact people to ask questions, I encounter this wall of indifference, and that wall wasn't put up to protect you from the bad guys. That wall has been put up in Washington to protect politicians from people like me, the little guy that's going to come up and ask the hard question. Don't those that volunteer to protect our freedoms, shouldn't they come first? I think they should. I think they should come before all others. What's your position on that, sir? I really would like to know. I've reached out to your campaign folks. I would have hoped that someone would have called me back. You know, it's not going to happen because that's just it. I'm one little old guy. But I'm one little old guy that go ahead and multiply that times 23 a day. A lot of people are hurting in this country. A lot of veterans families. There's a lot of empty chairs at tables, sir. I'd like to know where you stand on that. I'm reaching out to every single candidate that feels that they have what it takes to be our next commander-in-chief, and I really would like to know your thoughts on this. I'd love to see this come up in the debate. Our men and women deserve it. Those that have deployed multiple times and come home, granted they're not getting spit on, but they're not being treated with the respect they deserve. We make statements like no soldier left behind. My son was left behind. Support the troops. We don't support the troops. I want to know what your position is on this. God bless. I miss my son.